Your internet connection is unstable.
Oh, really?
Don't you love it?
Okay.
Anyway, hello everyone. This is Luca Majno. We're back with Frank Gregory Ford. This is Global News Update on TLBTV, courtesy of the Liberty Beacon Project. And this is where we bring you complete and backstage up-to-date info as to the developments occurring in our world today. And this is a good wrap of another good session of another good friend of mine with another good friend of mine in California. Greg, how are you today?
I'm in fine form. Looking forward to it. Got lots of good news for everyone that's good enough to listen to our show.
Yeah, and so do I. I don't have, well, it's good news, but it makes us look at rather dark subjects. And two of the subjects today, one of them is PTSD and my take on it, and also it's about war and about the scars of war and what happens in my snapshot. So, Greg, I'm looking forward to the show with you as well. I just hope we don't freeze up again because we've been freezing twice already since we started the show. You're still there?
Right, I'm still here. You know, we're kind of getting used to these attacks by NSA. You know,
Yes.
I mean, they're getting good at attacking us. So let's try to get it out there. You know, the message out before they pull something out.
Well, I think we're freezing up already. Yeah, we are. Okay. So should I just start snapshot maybe?
Okay, let's warn our customers.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that it does happen. Okay, go ahead and start. Let's get this thing rolling.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Okay, I'm going to share screens with you, and I wanted to start by talking about unlearning. The name of my Facebook page is called Learn to Unlearn. This is the unlearning process. It's learning to unlearn everything that we've assimilated. It's relearning everything technically, and it's what has to be done. You will live to see man-made horrors beyond your comprehension, and that's what we're living right now, actually, and Tesla predicted it many years ago. And speaking of horrors, here is the Clinton body count, and this is in 24 meg format, 2,000 something by 1,000 something. It's a huge photo, and you can zoom in on it enough if you want to, very quickly, to zoom in on somebody by the name of John F. Kennedy Jr. And you get all of the info on his death, and the reason why he's a part of this entry on the dead bodies list is because reporters Cindy Adams and Andrew Goldman had documented the planting of false evidence about JFK Jr. in the media within the days following his crash, the crash of his airplane. So the feeding of false information to the press proves there's a cover-up from start to finish anyway. So this is how it goes. And, you know, I actually turned the image black and white so that we could read it better for people who want to pause this and look at it more. Breaking news, samples of marijuana test positive for cyanide and pesticides. Didn't I actually say that was going to happen? I kid you not. I could have predicted that, and we'll talk about that more on another show, I'm sure. But for today, it has to be on the military, and I wanted to honor a certain Joseph T. Guile Jr. from Lawrence, Massachusetts, who was killed in '66 in Da Nang. And this show is for him tonight. I was talking to his sister today while I was picking up images like this one. And, you know, veteran suicide since 1999, 128,480. And I get this image put into another meme. Goodbye, boys. I have to go bomb some kids your age in Syria. You know, gee, I wonder what's bothering all these vets. I wonder what the problem is. I'd like you to put this on pause too, if you want, and look at this image by Devin Fields, who explains what it's like for him to have been brainwashed and then having woken up afterwards. It's a really sad story, and it'll piss a lot of people off. PTSD is real, and I have a writing on it. I'm going to be seeing how things go, and maybe we'll I think I'll do the writing next show. I'll read it because it's a bit long. So maybe we can talk about the wars, because this is too important not to come out. Since 2001, more U.S. service members have taken their own lives and have died on the battlefield. And if you want to see a movie on that, it's called Psychiatry in the Military, The Hidden Enemy on YouTube. It's priceless. Have you ever considered the idea that regular combat soldier obeying orders is actually a murderer? He or she has abandoned all their own sense of morality to inflict carnage on others. Isn't it incredible that almost all society considers this normal? Talk about thinking outside the box. How much more disconnected can you be to kill other people and feel like you're doing the right thing? Priceless, absolutely priceless meme to even start thinking about it. And the last show we did, I was just talking about the fact that man's apathy towards another person, towards his own kind, was the fertile ground in which the dark spirits tended their seeds. Greg, you're going to like this one. I would like to bring back waterboarding, says Donald Trump. I bring back a hell of a lot worse than waterboarding. Any thoughts on that?
Yes.
And this is
Iraq, and it was my commander who allowed it to happen. And I will be glad to let you have his name. All our listeners, look up several names, actually, but look up, let me see, Colonel Thomas Pappas, Pappas. He's responsible for this disaster you're seeing on your screen right now. Mm-hmm. And this is what I tried to stop. This is why I was renditioned, thrown onto a plane, tortured on that plane to try to stop what you just see. You just saw. And the irony is, most of the kids that are in there doing the torture, I call them kids, right? But that were doing the torture, I knew every single one. All right, and I attempted to try to go to the court-martial, which was in Fort Bragg, and they would not let me testify on their defense. Okay, mm-hmm. So look, and that was so shocking that even the famous artist Botero did a whole painting sequence right there. How many movies have been there, and it's something that, in fact, after the show, I'm going to give General Karpinski a call and have a talk with her about some other issues. But I will bring up this issue. All right. Yeah. So, and by the way, here we go. It was my job not only to run espionage duties, but it was also my job to take care and administer to all those victims that you see mm-hmm. in that footage. And now Thomas Pappas, yes, that sterling character who, our government is so shocked by their behavior, okay, that they, to punish Mr. Pappas, they said, no, you won't be after the big public scandal, the global scandal. No, we can't.
Oh, that's too bad. We're losing him. Oh, I'm going to have a good question for him. I'm hoping this comes back.
Gee, imagine. We just got disconnected. How did that happen, Luca?
Wow. Greg, I'm going to share screens with you real quick. So it's now that I have you. And any questions on James Mattis, the butcher of Fallujah?
Okay. Marine Corps General. Yep. Is the butcher of Fallujah. Rained down white phosphorus and depleted uranium. Okay. Yes. All right. Yeah, that sounds about right. Look at those pictures. Now, everyone wonders why I would,
And we lost him. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? It's like they're making it more and more difficult.
Pardon me?
No, I'm just saying it's amazing. We just lost you again for quite a while, and they're making it more and more difficult every time.
No. There's another name, Lieutenant Colonel. He is now a colonel. He got promoted for promoting torture in Iraq. And And the 205th Military Intelligence Unit is responsible for what you see here. Everyone that's watching, you can see what I was dealing with, thanks to the 205th Military Intelligence Unit. And in this case, all right, I can say that there is a Lieutenant Colonel Timothy Drew Ryan. Okay, they call him Tiny Tim, or that's what he likes the public to know him as, Tiny Tim. God save the world from short men. They seem to get us into more wars. Hitler, okay, Stalin, okay, Alexander the Great, okay. Let me see, what, Napoleon?
Yeah.
I mean, none of them were over what, 6, okay.
Greg, I'm going to keep I'm going to keep doing Snapshot with you while I have you here, and I'm going to share screens with you again because I got to get through this while I have you with us. People around the world view the U.S. as the greatest threat to peace. Voted 3 times more dangerous. Voted 3 times more dangerous than any other country. Dennis Spain warns us. He says, we must change or we will be consigned to the dustbin of history. There are inherent contradictions between who we think we are and who we actually are as a nation. Stop being led around by psychopaths. And this is what Greg and I have been saying. We've been killing, 30 million since the end of World War II. This is very, very relevant. And look at this. Talk about humans' apathy, the human apathy. I wanted you to pay attention to the genocide, because look at what this guy says here. Black Elk said in the 1800s, he said, I could see that the white man did not care for each other like our people did. They would take everything from each other they could. Some had more, some had more of everything that they could use, while crowds of people had nothing at all. Sound familiar? That's exactly what they've been doing since time immemorial. This is what they do to sacred doorkeepers while they're having an Inipi ceremony, okay? This is what the FBI does when they creep up on them. This is no joke. And they've been playing Division Street with us for a long time. I love talking about this because I go by it almost every day, and it just reminds me of how they want to condition us to think division, to live division, to think division's no problem. Look at the yearbook, 2013. Look at the 15 military spenders in the world. Look where the USA is, right? That's how much more we are destroying ourselves, our infrastructure, and human beings in this country. And it's very relevant. It's, all you have to do is look over 900 bases in 153 countries, where you're talking about building an empire, and we can't decide between Iraq and Iran, right? There's still that Iran-Iraq. We're not really sure. Dear USA, you appear to be somewhat confused. The following could be of some help. What is your job is in red on top, which is the United States and Alaska. What is not your job is the rest of the world. Sincerely yours, the rest of the world. And this is, sometimes somebody someday is going to research what Goyim means. Go check it out, Goyim, and you'll start to understand everything. Isn't the United States Army great? I just can't wait to join, right? So, this is where we're at, and we're losing Greg again. Oh, no, we're not. He's back.
Okay, Goyim, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Token Goyim, okay. Basically the non-Hebrew in the bunch. So that's Token Goyim. I don't know how much of that you got, but I just gave you folks some interesting things. And by the way, Mr. Ryan, Lieutenant Colonel Ryan,
yes,
okay, who was virtually responsible for all the slaughter you just saw, connected to Abu Ghraib, and had me renditioned and tortured, okay. Yes, well, interesting thing is he took that achievement, and he and Captain Artiga, Victor Artiga, and they went and applied to the Carlyle Group. Everyone knows Carlyle and what they do. Well, they're in the news today too. But the Carlyle Group, let's see, Lieutenant Colonel Ryan warned the Carlyle Group that, yes, their weapons of mass destruction had been discovered, okay, by myself, all right, and another agent. And they turned right around and warned Carlisle to get rid of those weapons, okay, not make any announcement in the news that America's weapons mass destruction were found there. And to date, they refuse to admit to the story or deny the story, okay? Well, here, folks, you're going to love this. James Woolsey, head of the CIA when all this was going on, okay, he, every day on my birthday, every year for the last 3 years, he's come out and stated that, yes, we did have weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and yes, they were our weapons of mass destruction. That's James Woolsey, okay? And so understand that, you know, that there was so much horror involved with what happened at Abu Ghraib and what happened to me, all right, that Lieutenant Colonel Ryan, Tiny Tim, and by the way, they do, and Victor Siesta Artiga, he was always asleep taking a nap when we were under fire. He was taking a nap, okay? And the thing is why am I telling you all this? Because this is how our government works. They did these atrocities, created the worst war crimes in American history. There they are right there. There's My Lai, of course, that started all of this. And then there is Iraq, okay? And here's the situation is, you know, war criminals, 6-figure salaries, okay? And they actually built and give Mr. Mr. David Bernstein, the CEO of Carlisle, ask him about the 6,3 intelligence group, okay? Their job is basically to spy on you, okay? Spy on everybody. Oh, there I go again. Spy on everybody, okay? And the funny thing is, they didn't have that group until these two got there. After cutting their teeth on all that torture at Abu Ghraib, you know, and they knew how to deal with people that had stepped forward and did the right thing. You're looking at me, by the way. And yes, I have been since diagnosed with one of the worst cases of PTSD in American history. All right, that's me. And also, I was tortured to boot. For good measure, they tortured me, okay? So I want everybody that's watching that to understand it goes much farther, because now, if you noticed, you just said, what, 153 countries we have people in, you know, military operations going on. Right. Well, guess how the operation, okay, for torturing insurgents from different countries for a fee. Always remember, this is America. You don't do anything unless it's for a fee, okay? There are 157 countries that have signed on to America's Operation Copper Green, okay? That means they are matching what you just showed, Luca, to our listeners, is the almost exact number of countries that have this program going on. It hasn't stopped, folks.
Okay, Greg. Now that I have your attention, I'll show you the pictures of My Lai that I wanted to show today, and this is in honor of Joseph T. Guile Jr., like I was saying, from Lawrence, Massachusetts, and we wanted to show what it looked like, and you can plainly see the horror. You know, they got to make it color. You know, make it look good. You know, and they work together. I noticed that to cause as much harm as they can. This picture, obviously, we know won the Pulitzer Prize. You know, winning the Pulitzer Prize, wonderful. You know, great. And people can't do the job without getting high, right? It's a normal thing when you do things like this. And you know, we have pictures that we won't show today, but this was what it looked like back then. And I wanted to take your attention to this one more than any other one, because in 1890s or even before 1860s or 1850s, that's what they said. You know, scalps, you know, you can get paid for scalps, lottery for scalps, wanted, dead Indians, you know, alive or dead, reward. Exactly the same thing as for the Indian. Oh, got to get stoned to do that shit, right? This is what it looked like. This is what it looked like, and this is why next show I'm going to be talking about PTSD, and you know, giving honor to those people who are in the trenches, and you know, who are trying to save their lives, you know, and absolutely and totally senseless attacking on other people, and it's all for drugs, right? Got to do that. Got to get high first in order to do that. So that's my take on the horrors. That, you know, this is what we're doing now in most countries. This is the horrors that
But
we inflict. So who's the
if
terrorist?
you know, because we have presidential candidates that are being called treasonous. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the deal: is that young man that was stripped naked? Okay, he was being tortured at that point. Okay, gosh, so torture is nothing new to the Americans. We just covered Luca.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, video is off. Now
Okay.
that picture that you just showed was American troops torturing. You know, they call it interrogation now. All
Right.
right, stomping on that young man's genitals that was stripped naked.
Yeah.
You can rest assured that he wasn't alive long after that picture was taken. Rest assured. And that was when you just put a picture of another one human being, okay, torturing another human being to death. That's what you just showed, okay. And so that's why I was inspired to make sure that we stop what we were doing in Iraq,
Mm-hmm.
because I was in when Vietnam was going on. Okay. I was in. All right. I knew what a disaster Vietnam was. Okay. So, in essence, what I said was, okay, we can't repeat what we did in Vietnam. Well, as you just found out, that I was assigned to the 205th Military Intelligence Unit, which our government does everything it can to make excuses for, okay, to cover up. Did you hear that, Luca?
Yeah, to make excuses for, and then I lost you.
Okay. To make excuses for the behavior that you just saw, okay, the U.S. Army then turned around and accused 9 enlisted of doing that kind of behavior and torturing. All right. And then they stopped me when I said, oh, no, 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 no. Officer Corps, you don't get away with it. You don't get your 6-figure salaries. All right. Quite simply, you're responsible. You're responsible also.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, that's what happened. Okay. And you just showed a picture of that young man being tortured, and then also you just showed the Seymour Hersh story on My Lai. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
how many were slaughtered? How many hundreds were slaughtered at My Lai? I can't even remember. All right, and if you notice that the worst thing they did was they gave Lieutenant William Calley restriction to the fort. He was at a fort and restricted to the fort's grounds for a couple of months. That's what they gave Lieutenant Calley. What happened to the enlisted at Abu Ghraib? All the people I knew, okay. You know what happened? They all went to prison for years. Now, why was that? Okay, it was to cover up the fact that the hires up had specifically initiated the copper green program. Now, I bring that up only because Seymour Hersh covered the story. He was a young journalist, covered the story in My Lai, and he was the first person to call and come to Abu Ghraib and call it a war crimes, just like My Lai. People being tortured to death, slaughtered, mayhem being committed,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, not a word about me filing charges. Okay, now as of Wednesday of last week, I have just learned that the judge, in my case, the federal judge, was actually ordered to make sure that my case was repressed and kept out of the media.
Right.
Okay. I found out, all right, and my case, surprise, is alive and well. Again, folks, alive and well. So let's see a little bit more support than the last time I tried to file, okay, to bring all of this to light, so you can see what monsters we have, what we're doing overseas, okay? You can see it, all right? So it is back on again. Now, if we have any time left, I'd like to talk about what happened the last few days.
And it's working well, so let's do it quick.
Yes. Okay. All right. We're about to see something worse than Watergate, okay? It makes Watergate look like nothing. It appears now that the sitting president, President Obama, has actively used one intelligence agency to spy and try to attempt to destroy a candidate, okay? Yes, that is the issue. Mr. Mark Lambert, remember that name, please. Mr. Mark Lambert, this week is indicted, okay, as the interface to spy on from, this is coming from Hillary Clinton, okay. President Obama ordered this to spy on Donald Trump before he was even a candidate, okay. Yes, he said he was being spied on. Uh-oh, folks. Yes, he was. Okay. Does that sound like an intelligence agency that's under control? Does that sound like a high level of integrity, that is required to be the president of the United States? Sorry. And it appears, yes, as of right now, that you're going to see an indictment. Mr. Lambert's rolling over, giving names up, okay, and they go all the way up to the president. What we have is another Watergate. Okay, that happened within the last, 125 hours ago?
Wow.
Okay. And espionage, eavesdropping on the Trump campaign. Okay. And it appears also that no, the Russians, they're dumbfounded at the behavior that they're seeing in American politics.
I guess.
The whole world is dumbfounded at the Americans' behavior in politics. This is called banana republic politics, folks. That's what we have here. And and the main cause of this is our court system and our legal system being compromised so thoroughly that the FBI is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. In fact, they have been protecting Hillary Clinton through their director, James Comey. All right. And the thing is, Hillary Clinton has selectively over the years has compromised all of these people through sexual issues of pedophilia. Okay. Yes. And she has been working with the Israeli Secret Intelligence Service. ISIS, ring a bell? ISIS. Okay. Yes. They now have the Israelis, Mossad, has film footage of Hillary Clinton, okay, sexually having sex with a 13-year-old girl, Elizabeth Roberts to be exact, okay, Huma Abedin, or Huma Wiener as I like to call her.
Right.
Okay. That's her married name, by the way. All right. Is involved directly, okay. Jeffrey Epstein, who we all know and love, that little tousle-haired scamp, there he is with Bill Clinton there on Orgy Island, all right, doing all of this. This is what Hillary's been doing. When I refer to the 5 rings, okay, each group is a ring, and that's what they have been doing, is compromising.
Oh, I lost him completely. I just lost him completely. Now I got the show on my own. You know what? We're going to go on with Snapshot while we're waiting for him. Doctors kill more people than guns. This is this is the reality that I love to show. And if anybody wants to comment, yes or no, I will do a show on guns and their safety and their bad rap that they have had. I think it's great. It is well enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there'd be a revolution before tomorrow morning. And you know what? Isn't that exactly what the Bushes say? That if the American people knew what the Bushes had been up to, that they would be chased down the street and lynched? Yeah, we can just imagine. I have a question tonight. How can you have a war on terror when war itself is terror? Interesting question. And we're still recording, and I'm still by myself, but we're going to put it on pause and hope that he does come back. Okay, in any case, I will do an ending of the show just in case that this is the way the show ends. Unfortunately, we lost Greg, and we're going to just keep trying to stitch all the shows together as much as we can. If we lose him, we lose him. And, well, you know, we're trying to get the message across, and the message seems to be pretty hot and pretty well needed. So this is probably why they're after us so much. And we'll be wrapping this up and talking to you next time. And thank you so much for listening. And please stay with us as we keep giving you truths that are so hot and so important and so real and so necessary that this is what happens. The the interference is unbelievable. While either he or I can talk to anybody overseas, Australia, New Zealand, whatever, Europe, and we never have problems like this. So it's very obvious that what we're saying is very important and urgent to get out. So until next time, thank you so much. This is Luca Majno signing off.